Hey, what's up, everybody? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for some live coverage as well as a forecast update. So we're going to start off with what's happening right now. Can we remove the hail tracks and the composite reflectivity real quick so we just kind of have what's showing up in OKC? And we're going to kind of work down the line, see what's showing up here for these storms off to the north and west of Oklahoma City, and more importantly, something to the southwest of Oklahoma City as well. So we'll start out. We have that tornado watch in effect till 10 p.m. We don't need to go over that. Let's just jump right into the storms here off to the to the west of Logan County, where we do have had up to baseball size hail. We have a tornado warning that's now just to the east of Enid. It looks like we actually have a wind report in here. I'm assuming that is was that a measured gust? I know there was, yeah, 63 mile per hour wind gust recorded at Vance Air Force Base. So very strong winds with this. This was tornado warned here now east of Enid. And notice everything's turning into a bit of a line. And the cold front has been, for a lack of a better term, hauling and met up with the dry line. Thus, we have the storms erupting along the cold front here, and then it will continue to push down to the south and to the east. We did have up to some baseball size hail just to the west of Highway 81. With the supercell storm, actually dropped a couple small tornadoes intermittently off to the north and to the east of Watauga. This is now all moving generally to the east-southeast, so Guthrie will be down the line a little bit here, but if we keep pushing down to the south, we do have storms trying to form right along I-40 and then down here by Chickasha, where we have an isolated supercell. Now, why we are bringing this one up versus the others, it is because this one is not getting impacted by the cold front yet, thus it's isolated and has a much better chance of being able to have large hail as well as a potential for some tornadoes. It's currently warned, I believe, for about ping pong ball size hail here off to the southwest of Chickasha, and it's heading towards Chickasha. Yeah, there you go, ping pong ball size hail. Looks like there is some rotation within this storm as well. I hope we have the Lawton radar up here. So let's go ahead, let's zoom in on this storm. And I believe, yeah, it's still going to show up the area right by Apache and Cement. So again, this storm is moving to the northeast, which would bring it into the Oklahoma City metro before the cold front gets here. Let's kind of bring up, let's see if there's any hail with it right now. We'll bring up the correlation coefficients. Looks like, yeah, there is some hail with this. I think there was up to ping pong ball size hail reported back in Apache. Let's bring up velocity as well, make sure there is some rotation with this storm, and I believe echo tops are pretty high with this as well. It's a large continuing to grow, trying to get its act together. So we're going to be watching this super carefully here as it is moving off to the north and east. If it does end up maturing more, it could be a spell of problems for the southwestern portions of the Oklahoma City metro and places like Moore and Norman as this all moves off to the northeast quickly, and we have the dry line and cold front coming down to the south. So we Frank's bringing this up here about moving about 40 miles an hour. So that brings it to Chickasha here 20 minutes, and then over to Amber by 5:34, and then after that we will likely get into Cleveland County, where there's going to be significantly more folks possibly impacted. And again, if this thing can really get its act together over the next half an hour, we could see some very intense storms moving into the southern portions of the metro. So again, let's just zoom this back out here for Oklahoma, seeing what we have at the moment. Again, we have only one tornado warning in place right now, and that's moving towards I-35, but a lot of this is turning to a line of storms, and that is changing our forecast here. It's everything decided to start really getting more intense here a lot faster than originally modeled, and we also had the dry line fire a lot of storms here compared to what was being forecast earlier. I see, let's actually go over to the Fort Smith. That seems to have appeared.
Oh wait, no, your mic was cutting out for like 5 seconds there. You're good now.
Cut out?
Yeah.
Okay, so what major cities are in play for damaging hail today, if any? I think it'd be Oklahoma City, and maybe, let's see if this Fort Smith area storm does not look super crazy here. So we do have the storm by Poto. Let's see what it's warned for. Yeah, it's really basically Oklahoma City, maybe, I doubt Tulsa, and then if you get really lucky, Dallas, but I think that's a real far cry of anything. The storms aren't really forming that far to the south. This one's 1 for quarter-size hail. We'll keep an eye on this as it's heading towards the Fort Smith area. You guys have had a bigger storm overall. There are some other storms off to the east as well, Mississippi and Alabama. I'm not going to bring those up just because I do not have the radars loaded for those, but also for the fact that they are producing not as much. Yeah, sort out your mic. I think my mic is it should be doing okay. I don't know why it cut out for a second, but it's good now. It might have just been some interference or something with our wireless text. So what we had, that's what we have right now. If we go back over to the Texas area, I know I'm sure about half of our viewing audience is DFW focused. So Ian Pox saying no hail predicted. Well, we're going to go into that here in just a second. So I'll jump right into the forecast here. This is Storm Harry. This is my updated forecast from what we had before. And I'm trying really hard to clip this as everything has been moving, but I've already pulled out Wichita. I have pulled the warm front, never made it far enough north for the destabilization to occur in Wichita. We now have, as the storms, this keeps getting cut shorter and shorter and shorter as everything is moving towards Oklahoma City. So that's why we have, I'm really highlighting the most significant area basically with those storms that are down to the southwest over by the Lawton area and over by Chickasha. And then this is all moving to the south, moving to the northeast. And that is, we have that moderate chance here for Oklahoma City. We've already had baseball size hail, so if we keep anything isolated, that hail size will remain large, but otherwise it's going to be hard pressed to get anything over about ping pong ball size, which is the majority of what we have at risk here. Tulsa, that low chance remains as we now have a squall line trying to move through pretty quickly here. And then Dallas, Fort Worth, Abilene, we could potentially see more storms fire down the dry line as everything pushes down to the south. So you do have that low chance in Abilene and San Angelo for maybe up to some golf balls. But here in Dallas, this will be late tonight, probably well after midnight, and you could get maybe some quarter-size hail with occasionally coming up as these storms keep racing down to the south. Again, well after midnight here in Dallas, and I think the hail sizes are going to remain pretty low outside of some rogue storm deciding to form ahead of everything. Little Rock and Memphis. You know, we're already seeing storms. We had that storm over by Fort Smith, a couple other storms. We had one over by, what's it called, Hot Springs a little while ago with some quarters as well. And it continued to move through the area. We could have some more storms tonight. We've had storms already, again, like I mentioned, over, as I have to step off the screen just to show it here, where we have the storms over by Alabama, parts of Tennessee. Again, we could have occasional storms continuing through the evening here, that quarter to $half size. I think I even had a ping pong ball report with that in northern Mississippi. So city forecast, Oklahoma City, it's coming, man. It's 6 to 10 p.m., probably 6 to 8 even. I got that tornado watching, and that's through 10 p.m. It's up for 3-inch hail, but I'm going with 2.25 is probably your max hail size overall. Now, that is likely going to be south of I-40 if we can get that storm that is on its own right now to the west of Chickasha, that can make it all the way up to Oklahoma City. It could be pretty nasty, so we're going to keep that hail size around there. It's very possible as well we could have a line of storms moving into the metro as that supercell is moving in. So keeping that moderate chance of at least quarters. I'm pretty confident we'll see some quarters somewhere in the metro today, and then moderate overall. Maybe we get some something over golf ball sizing, and this could be in the next couple hours here as everything is closing in on Oklahoma City. That does take Ponca City, Stillwater, and Enid out of play. Things ended up lining up very fast. It was surprising how quickly it turned into a line. I feel like I broke it sometimes, as Oklahoma is pretty good at doing that recently. And with that, we're going to jump into tomorrow, show you guys what we're thinking for tomorrow here, where we could see some storms in the Great Lakes region. This is as Harry will continue moving off to the east. And then we have some storms firing by about 1 o'clock in Indiana and parts of Ohio. And then this all blows up here about 3 o'clock Central Time, so 4 o'clock Eastern Time, depending on what time zone this is in. and we could see hail possibly as large as golf balls in sections of Ohio, sections of West Virginia, maybe even Indiana, down in Kentucky. And this continues through the dinner time hour, and then by the time we get to about 7 and 8 o'clock, storms should start to wind down a bit, but we'll have to keep a close eye on this. We could actually have a fair amount of severe weather for tomorrow. This is for Harry, where we could have maybe up to some golf ball size hail. I've highlighted the southern half of Ohio here, the better chance of better instability, and that best chance for storms seems to be Columbus. There's a lot of storms centered around there. Cincinnati could have also been in the moderate chance, but I just kept it low for right now. Again, this could be up to some golf ball size hail anywhere in the orange. If you're up here in Cleveland, I think a low chance for some storms, and if they do happen, you might have some stabilizing effects from the lake, so it could actually keep things low. And then further to the south here, from Memphis to Louisville, could see some more storms tomorrow with that up to $1.25 to $1.5 size hail. So once we get past your day tomorrow on Tuesday, we reset. We have the next storm system coming in, which will be Isla, and that is going to be the next big weather producer for your the southern plains. Here's your most risk cities for Tuesday. I think Columbus, Ohio, that best chance or that moderate chance, and then across the board, moderately low chance from Cincinnati to Cleveland to Louisville, and then finally Nashville and Memphis, a much lower chance for storms. Is Edmond possible? Yes, it is possible. I think everywhere here in the OKC metro area, whether it's Yukon, Edmond, Midwest City, Norman or more, I think you can see some storms. Everyone's gonna see storms, is whether or not we're gonna see the bigger hail. I think the biggest hail potential is going to be with any supercells that move through, which would likely stay south of I-40. North of I-40, maybe up to some quarters. Gusty winds will definitely be likely, very heavy rain, and thunder and lightning. So this is the future jet stream. We're gonna look ahead beyond just today. So if today doesn't work out, well, we got another risk coming here for your Wednesday. So this is Harry moving out. So at 12 p.m. tomorrow, we have Storm System Harry over here by Chicago. That's been moving out. And this is the next one coming in. This is going to be Isla here moving in for your Wednesday. This looks like another potentially classic looking setup here. So it's 3 p.m. on Wednesday. This would yield a more significant risk for severe weather on your Wednesday across Oklahoma and parts of Texas. We will find out what failure mode comes in to kill this risk, but if it doesn't, it could be a pretty significant one here across Oklahoma and Texas and into Kansas. Isla will push off to the east and continue a fairly significant risk on Thursday. As we move towards the weekend, Friday, we could see some storms in the Carolinas. And then once we go towards the end of next weekend, we could potentially another significant system. This could be a little longer duration as well. This one would be Justin moving in. See, that moves in on Sunday. Notice we have a big deep trough kicking in, and then potentially a lot of severe weather possible across the central and southern plains. So a fair amount of storms possible here through the remainder of this week. We're going to rip through our names pretty fast, and then hopefully we'll see our first 5-star of the year. I mean, it's really been a hard press to get something crazy out of this. So what does this look like within that look ahead forecast once I get this going here? Well, here is Wednesday's risk. This is the most significant one right now so far across Oklahoma and down south towards the Rio Grande, up towards Wichita. This is going to stay south of Kansas City and possibly north of Dallas. We'll have to keep a close eye on that for your Wednesday. And then moving ahead to Thursday's risk, also a significant risk here, assuming it'll actually load up. There we go. This will go from about just south of St. Louis all the way through the Mississippi River Delta area, a lot of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, probably all the way east to Birmingham and across western sections of Tennessee. And then finally on Friday, this all moves pretty much off the coast. This will be the last gasp of Isla here for the areas across portions of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then into sections of Georgia. So that's where we're looking ahead. Again, a lot of activity to go over. And of course, we're keeping a close eye on everything that's happening right now. Is there anything of note right now, Frank, if you just look on the other computer on GR Earth, before I wrap things up here?
Let's take a look here. We've got a few quarter reports, $50 report that came down in near Anadarko as the storm's moving towards Chickasha. Tornado warning is gone for the line.
Okay.
So
about right.
no, nothing really crazy going on right now.
All right, cool. So with that, we're going to wrap things up. We'll come back for live coverage, of course, if anything does get crazy here in Oklahoma City Metro. We're here, so whenever storms move in and it's looking exciting, we'll go live, and if not, well, unfortunately, then we'll see you tomorrow. So here we are. Follow us on our social media platforms. If you're watching us here on Facebook or YouTube, thanks. Give us that follow. If not, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those things here at Hail Trace. Very easy for us to find. I actually did a live video earlier on TikTok before we actually had this video. So follow us on our TikTok. We post all of our storm chasing stuff on there as well. Give us a call, 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns, get you guys set up and ready to go for any storms. We did have a bunch of storms over the weekend. A couple smaller towns in Texas got lit up pretty bad. info@hailtrace.com is our email, or visit our website at hailtrace.com. Lower right-hand corner of the screen there as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back for live coverage. Anything crazy happens. If not, we'll see you tomorrow.